China, China, China. What's happening in China? I know more about China than anybody in this world. And I'm not even Chinese. Okay. That is a really bad Trump impression or impersonation. But nonetheless, there's a lot of things happening in China, and China's catching up to a lot of things. But as well as what has been happening in China, or let's just say in Texas, has actually been happening in China for a little bit longer, and it has been very, very dangerous for everybody. You will know that China right now is kind of like the financial capital of the entire freaking world because they've been lending to everybody. But nonetheless, China is actually buying up so many ports around the entire world. They are creating their own Silicon Valley, which is basically they're not putting their money in tech companies like the United States is doing by trying to get the best tech, the best companies, the biggest products. China already has the products, but what they're doing is they are building the greatest Silicon Valley trade route. And that's actually not what this video is about. But nonetheless, that is what China's building. Okay, they've got some really intelligent people out there, and these guys are planning on a whole lot of things. And China has a whole lot of money. But we're gonna get down to that about all the money and what's been happening to all the money. Okay, and how they've been spending it. But nonetheless, China is trying to be the biggest world trader that you can find on the planet. And at the moment, they are like the biggest. But let's see what's been happening in China.
As she is heartbroken and doesn't know how she will provide for her children. Last week, President Xi Jinping urged authorities to put in all-out efforts to protect lives as floods and natural disasters increased. China has provided more than $316.4 million in funds to help with rescue efforts and emergency supplies, as deadly floods and landslides caused by almost 2 weeks of torrential rain.
You know, that is like that's the thing. Who knows how long those people were there in that house? They literally can't cook because everything is flooded underwater. If they want to go to the toilet, it's so easy to take to urinate. Maybe for women it's a little bit not that easy. But what if we take a dump? I mean, that's the thing, dude. There's feces out there. You can't go to the toilet because maybe the toilet is actually blocked because it's at the bottom. It's like your entire comfort has been removed because of the flood. And what has been happening in China, it has been heavy amounts of rainfall and like hurricanes and typhoons, and that's what's causing this flood. The people in Texas in America are going through the exact same thing that China's going through, but China's getting a whole lot of weather phenomenons right now, to be honest.
Ravaged several parts of the country. In Changsha, the capital of Hunan, the Xiang and Laoda rivers are expected to hit peak dangerous levels Thursday morning, state media reported.
I mean, this happens every year, and I still don't understand. China, how is it that you are not equipped for this? Because you've got so much money in the world. How are you not, year by year, finding solutions to your issue? It's good to see that the emergency personnel are so ready to help. It's quite cool, you know. But nonetheless, like you could have easily built a drainage system for these floods to just dissipate through. Like I think that's the thing that China needs to build on right now, and it can be easy because it might just be like you just build this one thing and let it go all the way down over here, or put some money into water pumps and just pump everything dry. You know, pump the water out. that a little girl or a person?
Flooding triggered by torrential rainfall in southwestern China has destroyed dozens of roads and homes. China's weather authority issued a red alert. That is its most severe. More rainfall has been expected in the coming days in Yunnan and Guangxi province. Our next report gives the details.
And I'm sorry, we couldn't really see her face because my face was covering it. But yeah, she was beautiful. Skip it, skip.
A massive Israeli.
Whoa, what is up? This thing is just skipping. I didn't skip that thing.
5 went missing.
Community.
Wait. Okay, well, let's just watch from here. Okay, I guess everybody's gonna see her face again.
Flooding triggered by torrential rainfall in southwestern China has destroyed dozens of roads and homes. China's weather authority issued a red alert. That is its most severe. More rainfall has been expected in the coming days in Yunnan and Guangxi province. Our next report gives the details.
Got some heavy songs playing here, bro. Okay, well, basically not saying anything, but yeah. I'm just going to continue and say that, the floods are hectic right now in China. And they've got a lot of people that's being affected, and it's a lot of work that they have to do. But let's be moving on and see what has China been catching up to. And this one, apparently, it's China is broke basically, but they were the ones that have so much money, but they're building crazy things, and this is one of them.
This is one of the world's most monumental unfinished highways, the Zhenqi Expressway, which was designed to...
Which is insanely high! You can't be... I'd be so scared driving on this freeway, to be honest. I would be pissing if I had to drive on this.
Connect Yunnan and Guizhou by bridging valleys with elevated roads. The Tongche River...
Look, are you seriously going to drive on that? Think about it. I mean, I know it's not complete, but if it was complete, look at the height. Are you going to drive? Imagine the wind speed on that thing. And China, they got like small cars. You can't be so high, unless the wall is going to be like super high, so that the wind doesn't really affect the little cars that be driving there. Because you be driving it with that little Hyundai, and that thing just flips off the freeway, Not to mention, there might be an emergency lane. Wouldn't that be kind of dangerous? Just imagine somebody gets out of the vehicle, high wind speeds. I mean, what if it's a freaking storm out there and it's high wind speeds, and you're like, I want to look over the edge and get whoosh, and the wind blows you over. Man, this is a crazy architectural design, and if I was the one in charge, I was sitting now, we're not building this thing ever.
Super Bridge, a critical part of the Zhenqi Expressway, was a joint project between the governments of Yunnan and Guizhou. Located in Zhenxiong County, Yunnan Province.
I mean, who the heck is going up there to complete it?
The bridge was planned to stretch 1,458 meters, supported by 22 piers. The average height of the bridge deck was expected to be about 70 meters, with the tallest pier reaching 222 meters, making the tallest bridge pier under construction in Asia. Originally, the Tongchen River Super Bridge was slated to be 50% completed by mid-2022, with over 80% finished by the end of the year. However, the project remains incomplete. This has become part of the Zhenqi Expressway, which is now one of China's largest stalled infrastructure projects. The Zhenqi Expressway, located at the junction of Yunnan Sichuan.
I do think that they are going to complete this bridge because it's just too big of a project to not complete it at all, and it's going to be a massive eyesore in front of the citizens that are in the areas where this has been built, nonetheless. And I think because it's such a big project, they will most likely finish it. Because imagine they don't, and it just sits there for another 10 years. It's kind of like a waste. And if it's just going to sit there and there's no upkeep of it, then it's going to be even worse.
Chuan and Guizhou runs from Zhenshong in Yunnan to Lingguo town in Guizhou. It covers about 33.3 kilometers and was expected to cost 5.9 billion yuan. The groundbreaking ceremony for the Zhenqi Expressway took place on December 18, 2019, in Zhenshong County, Zhaotong City. The project had an original timeline of 3 years with plans to open by the end of 2022. However, after the bridge piers was completed in 2022, construction came to a halt. Now, over 3 years later, the project remains.
It actually looks like it's really, really wide. I mean, if you just take a look over this, and we take a look, like I'm thinking, like this is definitely just about 3/5 of a person's height, or maybe a Chinese person. Okay, a local. But this looked like it might be 2 lanes. Okay, this looks like it might be a 2-lane street, maybe 3 if you just add a little bit of section that could be for the emergency lane. I'm not too sure, because if you take a look at this, if you think of a guy standing there, a little Chinese man, yeah, this might be 1, 2, and an emergency lane. So there's 2 lanes most likely going down or up, and another 2 lanes going the opposite direction with emergency lane on both ends. So it actually looks like it's a pretty super wide a freeway. 2 lanes in both directions. Not bad though.
Unfinished. The large-scale project has been left abandoned, a disappointing sight for many. Some vloggers have recently posted videos showing the unfinished
Man, it is still frightening, to be honest.
expressway. One vlogger posted footage from the mountains of Guizhou revealing 2 sections of abandoned highway. The first section had the elevator bridge fully built and tunnels models were also in place. The second section had 3 tunnel entrances, 2 unfinished with 1.
I mean, you see, that's what I'm talking about. 2 unfinished and 1 complete one. They've already gone so far to dig tunnels in the mountains and put up such infrastructure. There is no way that they can leave something like that unfinished. And if they do, what a massive display of wasting cash. It could have been used to something else. I mean, dude, the machinery to dig the tunnels, these things don't come cheap, to be honest.
Already open. In the third section, construction equipment was still at the tunnel entrance, but it showed signs of rust. The fourth section featured several half-completed tunnels in the mountains. The fifth section, the most striking, had several kilometers of elevated highway without any road surface. This costly expressway, which had been under construction for years, has now been idle for 3 years. The primary reason for the halt of the Zhenqi Expressway include lack of funding and incomplete approval procedures, particularly for the Guizhou section. The approval delays are linked to Guizhou's significant debt problems. In February 2023, a Chinese media report quoted a local resident asking when construction on the Zhenqi Expressway would resume. The Zhenqi County government responded stating that the project was originally expected to be completed by the end of 2023. However, due to delays in the Guizhou
It's an ad! I don't know what's going on with the Guizhou section, but it seems like there's a lot of, funding issues and definitely procedures that need to be met that is actually blocking the completion of this massive super bridge. And who knows, we might just hear about a few more things that are actually happening.
opening would be postponed. On April 8th, a local resident shared a video showing how the Zhenshong County government failed to address the ongoing issues with the expressway. The video showed villagers gathering outside the local government office with subtitles indicating that land compensation and relocation plans for the expressway project were still unresolved. unfinished projects have become all too common under the Chinese Communist Party's rule,
Shame.
with other ambiguous ventures
I mean, what else does the Chinese Communist Party have that they haven't really completed? You guys need to remind me about that so I can actually make a video. And so there can be more content.
like the electric tram also facing abandonment.
Ooh, electric tram.
In Delinghua, Haixi
Darling.
Prefecture, Qinghai Province, located at an altitude of 2,980 meters on the Tibetan Plateau, an electric tram project was touted as the highest tram in the world. The project, which cost nearly 1 billion yuan, was also left unfinished. Delinghua,
Why?
the capital of Haixi Prefecture, covers 27,700 square kilometers and has a population of 88,000. In November 2016, the groundbreaking ceremony for the Delinghua electric tram project was held in the city's new district. The project was promoted as the first modern tram route in Western China and would be the world's highest tram line. At the time, officials announced that the Delinghua tram would become a moving sightseeing platform stretching about 14.8 kilometers. The tram was expected to boost Delinhua's tourism industry and create new economic opportunities for the city. With
Damn.
an investment of 950 million yuan, the project was designed to include 19 stations and a vehicle depot.
It's actually quite funny that China literally loans money to like a whole lot of countries, and there's a lot, by the way. Yet they don't have money to complete two massive projects nonetheless. But still, they don't have enough money to complete two of the massive projects that they have.
The tram system was originally set to begin operations in August 2018. That same year, then Mayor Li Chunshen visited the project site to monitor progress. However, the tram never launched, and there have been no updates ever since. In October 2019, officials announced that the Delinghua Modern New Energy Tram demonstration line and its stations had passed oral inspections. In May 2020, the tram began trial operations but has remained under testing ever since. On November 2nd, 2023, local residents started to post on the government website
Basically saying what a waste of money it is because it's just there and nobody can use it.
asking why the Delinghua tram had not launched. The Delinghua State-Owned Asset Supervision and Administration Commission replied that safety risks had been identified for operations at high altitude and corrective work was underway. According to a February 2024 report by China's state media, a reporter contacted a company that had worked on the project. An employee said that the tram line remained stranded with no clear plan for completion. Some online comments read, "A city of 88,000 people can borrow over 1 billion yuan for a random project. What kind of management is this? People are calling for an end to premature rail transit projects. It's time to face reality. It's absurd. How did this project
Yeah.
ever get approved?"
No, it got approved because it had the best intentions for the citizens. They said nothing now about charging or anything. It might have been a free tram, but they didn't say anything about it being free. But nonetheless, it was built for the comfort and obviously to keep the citizens, mobile, not have them have to walk too far and exert too much energy, and like I said, maybe even just be free. China does kind of think about the people a lot, and that's what I think what the tram is for. And it would have been a nice project, innovation. It's a nice innovation, transportation, free transportation. It would have really had things going well. Not to mention, it is kind of like a shelter in cases like raining, and you wouldn't want to be caught out walking somewhere. You can just get on the tram and then be kept safe from the weather elements, of course. But the fact that the tram alone, which is not really a massive project, is being left alone, it's weird. And I mean, that bridge one is a huge project itself. But it's kind of sad that the tram never got finished. I mean, they look like they have everything there, but we just don't know what's blocking it.
On June 12th this year, authorities announced that former Delinghua Mayor Li Chunshen
That look like Xi Jinping.
office in November, was under investigation for excessive borrowing to build the electric tram as a vanity project, for using his position to benefit others in contract awards, and for accepting large sums of money illegally. Chinese
Are you saying he was corrupt?
media stated that Lee's case underscores the stalled tram project in Deliha, a small, high-altitude city that invested nearly 1 billion yuan. Political commentator Li Lingyi stated
Geez, that guy looks a little bit too smart to go up against.
that as the mayor of a small city, Li Chenshen should not have single-handedly secured approval for this project. The approval process involved officials from Haishi Prefecture, Qinghai Province, and relevant departments from the State Council. It's clear to anyone paying attention that Li Chenshen is merely a scapegoat in the political arena. Local governments in China have long relied on land sale revenue to fund projects, earning trillions of yuan.
Oh, dude, look at these flats, bro. That's exactly like what they depend on the land and they only build up. Look at these flats. Holy crap. And over there, holy crap. It's, whoa. That's a lot of people. How many people do you think is in one building? Like, this is one side. 2, 3, 2. Dude, there could be like 1,000. Yeah, there could be like 500 families, 500 people a year. I'm just giving it out, you know. It could be like 500. So there's like 1,000. There's like a couple thousand people in this one area.
Yuan, but the recent real estate crash and heavy infrastructure spending have left them with massive debt. The burden of repaying so-called hidden debt has grown and abandoned public projects have proliferated. Guizhou's debt problem is particularly severe. Its debt-to-GDP ratio ranks among the highest in China, even exceeding international warning levels, though it is not
Really?
the highest. In 2020, debt ratios in Tianjin, Jiangsu, Guizhou, and Chongqing rose above 300%. Most provinces had ratios between 120% and 300%. Tianjin had the highest debt ratio at 612.6%. Over the past 2 years, despite economic slowdown, the central government has urged indebted local governments to
And you do not want to go up against a Chinese person when it comes to math, that's for sure.
accelerate public projects
The data never lies.
to support growth. It has also piloted a self-approved, self-issued special bond program. Local governments are under pressure to issue bonds for new infrastructure.
Well, it's kind of sad. But let's not go too much depth. We already looked through half of the film, half of the video. I want to go over to our next thing, which is this. It seems that there is a countdown. China really wants Taiwan because China considers that Taiwan is still part of China. The same as Hong Kong is still part of China. So China is Russia, okay? Oh, Ukraine don't want to stay with us, we're going to take Ukraine. We're going to go in there, we're going to fight, okay? So China is like that with Taiwan and Hong Kong. China is just being a big bully, and the fact that they have so little money left, how much money do they have for the military is the question.
The Department of Defense next budget prioritizes reinforcements in the Indo-Pacific, specifically to counter the threat to Taiwan. According to military experts, a full-scale invasion of the self-ruled island remains unlikely. They argue China is far more likely to use coercive tactics, including political warfare, economic pressure, or a naval blockade, rather than risk the devastating repercussions of an amphibious assault. Remember, China claims Taiwan as its own territory.
But Taiwan is not taking any chances. It is rapidly developing a high-tech fleet of sea drones, hoping to replicate Ukraine's successes in the Black Sea against Russia's Navy. Defense Minister Wellington Koo confirmed Taiwan's plans to deploy these naval drones as early as this year.
But do they have the budget to deploy these drones?
Some of Taiwan's sea drones include Sea Shark 800, which has a
And those little boats look fantastic. This one reminds me of the one that James Bond had when it was Pierce Brosnan.
range of 600 kilometers and a payload of 1,500 kilograms. The other known sea drone is Carbon Voyager
Whoa!
1, having a range.
I want to be able to a little boat drone pilot.
of almost 121 kilometers and a payload of 80 kilograms. The drones are aimed at turning the Taiwan Strait into a fortress. Experts say these autonomous vessels, have some powered by AI, others designed to swarm, could pose a serious threat to China's amphibious operations.
Now, one notable partnership between Taiwan and U.S.-German firm Aterion will bring AI-enabled drone swarm to Taiwan's armed forces. But there are challenges ahead. Experts warn against placing too much faith in drones alone.
Well, Ukraine is doing pretty well with the drones. And, they don't have the high-tech drones that China and America has. They've been using 3D printed drones with a battery for the engine and a camera, and they just put a plastic explosive on it, and that's your boy. And it works. Holy crap.
The Taiwan Strait's choppy waters aren't the same as Ukraine's Black Sea conditions, and scale, for that matter, remains a big hurdle.
Switching gears for now, the Taiwan Strait is on edge all over again, and this time it is Taipei which is making the moves. Taiwan has launched its largest ever war drills, pulling in thousands of reservists and rolling out high-tech U.S. weapons. And they are not alone in the region. Japan is also arming up, boosting its defenses just miles from Taiwan's coast.
Yo, dude, with Japan jumping in, I would be scared because those guys are kamikaze, to be honest. And I can't believe that, okay, well, Japan is choosing the safer side and going up against China instead of going up against America, but China is definitely not going to use a nuke on Japan, because why would you use a nuke on Japan when Japan already went through a nuke? And it's bad, because why would you want to do it on one of your own people that look just like you? But shout out to Japan, dude. I mean, you gotta be careful. Japan might have some secret anime powers coming out. Anime. That reminds me of a video anime. You guys need to go to my channel, watch my anime videos, watch all my videos, all my review videos, and let's not forget, get this channel to 1,000 likes. 1,000 likes or 1,000 follows, so that we can bring more content coming your way, and also so we can upgrade things. Because the more you watch this channel, the more you comment, the more you like, the more you subscribe, hey, the more I can do for you guys. And I would just love to bring you guys more content and do a little bit more from my side, from which I find to be enjoyable to do nonetheless. But let's just carry on with this entire war scenario between the Asian countries.
Amid the escalating tensions with China, our next report telling you more.
Okay, why is it going to advert again? Ah, man, I'm sick of that. Like, okay, yeah, I didn't pay for this, but I get it. So they're just going to show us who's messing with the rapper on the sound system.
Taiwan kicked off its largest military drills aimed at defending against a possible Chinese invasion. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has threatened to use force to seize it. Taiwan's annual Hankuang exercises will run from July 9 to 18.
Ooh, what's up? Taiwan doesn't really have the firepower to go up against China at all. And I guess that's why Japan has been pulled in immediately before anything has even started, because they need the numbers to go up. But Japan's military is also not that big, so you can't just depend on Japan's military. They're a small country nonetheless. China's the big one, eh?
These 10 days, round-the-clock drills include over 22,000 reservists, largest mobilization Taiwan has ever seen. Camouflaged reservists are training hard, assembling rifles, handling machine guns, and running live tactical scenarios. The message is clear. Taiwan is preparing for the worst. Beijing continues to circle the island with fighter jets and warships. Just before these drills,
Oh man, that shit looks nice.
Began, Taiwan spotted 31 Chinese aircraft and 7 warships nearby, and Taipei isn't taking chances. Newly arrived HIMARS rocket systems from the US will also be part of the drills. HIMARS can fire as many as 6 rockets, 2 precision strike missiles and 1 surface-to-surface guided ballistic missile, and has been extensively used by Ukraine against Russia in the Russia-Ukraine war. HIMARS, along with the American-made M1A2 Abrams tanks, will be tested under simulated battlefield conditions. The opening phase of the drills focuses on countering Chinese harassment tactics near Taiwan's offshore islands. Taiwan's military is also fortifying key landing points and ports, wary of China's disguising an invasion as routine provocation, while the military will also rehearse ways to repel a beach landing, anticipating the kind of full-scale war that Chinese President Xi Jinping hinted at for the year 2027. Across the East China Sea, Japan is taking no chances either. The Japanese army has been...
It seems like it might be full-on serious when it comes to China, Taiwan, and definitely Japan. I wonder if the Philippines is also going to get involved into this conflict.
Stationing its B-22 Osprey aircraft at a brand new base in Camp Saga, strategically located near the Ryukyu Islands. This island chain is just over 100 kilometers from Taiwan, and its importance is growing fast as Tokyo braces
That's a key strategic point nonetheless
for potential fallout from any Taiwan Strait conflict. China has been staging massive war games around Taiwan, especially since last year, and with these latest measures, both Taiwan and Japan appear to be moving from caution to war readiness. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
U.S. military conducted a...
So, man, I truly hope South Africa is not going to get pulled in, because I'm really big right now and I do not want to be training for the army just so I can fight somebody and probably get shot by a Chinese dude.
A series of joint exercises with Panamanian police aimed at guarding the Panama Canal. The exercise comes amid smearing tensions over allegations Chinese influence along the prize trade route. To kick off the drills, 3 U.S. Army helicopters arrived in Panama on Sunday, landing at the Panama Pacific Airport, formerly the U.S. Howard Base. Michael Plasanos, subcommissioner of Panama's National Aero-Naval Service, said that the exercises would prepare Panama's forces, as well as countries in the region, against any threat to the security and defense of the canal. Take a listen.
So basically now this has got to do with the U.S. military exercise at Panama. Dude, I'm not going to look into that. Like, I would actually just end the video right here. But it seems that the United States might be going to defend Panama. I mean, their soldiers are everywhere. Oh, everybody's just getting ready for battle. It's weird, man. Everybody's getting ready for battle. Japan, nothing but the Philippines, Japan, Taiwan, China. Russia's ready in battle with the Ukraine. That's like 5 countries that's possibly going to go. Then we already have Israel and Iran. Dude, that's a lot of countries at the moment. And there are other countries that are off fighting, like India and Pakistan was had something earlier, but they're done. But you never know. You never really know. But nonetheless, that is the video. Do not forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get these channels and this channel to 1,000 so that I, myself, Keijin, can bring you more. But apart from that, I'm out.